Where,
like
take
that.
us, the day of his death, take us through that step by step. Where were you? What happened?
Well, I'd want to start with the night when I picked him up from the airport. And I picked him up, and he was very happy to be here. And he kept saying that he just couldn't believe he had a baby sister, and he couldn't wait to see his mom. This was one of the longest times that they've ever been apart. And he was coming out here to stay with us and to stay with his mom and go to school here. So he was really excited. And he was telling me, over and over about how he couldn't believe he had another blood relative, because his mom is really his only family. I mean, it was just, it's hard for me to believe I'm here even talking about this, because.
All right, I understand, Howard. When he was in Anna's room, where were you?
Well, when we drove back to the hospital room, we drove from the airport to the hospital, and when we got there, he saw his mom, and he hugged his mom, and he picked up his baby sister like he'd been around babies his whole life, even though I don't think he'd ever really been around babies. And it was like one of the best nights that I've ever remembered. I mean, Anna was so content. She had, her son and her new baby girl, and I was there, and it was great,
Did you then leave the room?
After a while, I mean, I was there. There was actually another friend of the family was in the room for a while, and after he left, we talked about all being hungry. And over here in the Bahamas, not too many things are open that late. So I went out and I got some food, and it was, it's from almost like a gas station, like a 7-Eleven type place, but they have a little bit better food than 7-Eleven. So I picked up food, and then I came back, and other than that, I was there the whole time.
You were there when he passed away?
I was there, I was there. Anna woke me up, and this was the next morning. Stuff happened through the night where, at first I was going to sleep on the floor in between the two beds. There were two hospital beds, and Anna was in the bed closest to the window, and Daniel was in the bed closest to the door. And Daniel at some point said to me that he wasn't really that tired, so why didn't I just take the bed, and he was going to sit up and watch TV. And remember that Anna had a C-section 2 days before, so she needed help and still needs help to get to the bathroom and things like that. And Daniel, helped her out to the bathroom, and this happened many times throughout the night. And then at one point, Daniel said to me, "How come I'm so tired?" And in hindsight, I wish that I had seen that as some sort of a signal, and seen that something wasn't right.
So what happened? Did he just did he close his eyes, or what?
Well, I mean, the next thing that I remember, or that happened from my perspective, is that in the morning, Anna said, "Howard, Howard, Daniel's not breathing." So I, went over there really quickly, and at this point, Daniel had moved in the bed with his mom, so they were actually staying in the same bed. And I checked Daniel's neck, and I didn't feel anything. And we called, the nurses and said it was an emergency. And then medical staff just came rushing into the room, and they tried to revive him, and they tried to ask or tell Anna and myself to leave, but she wasn't going to leave her baby, and she stayed there, and we were at the foot of the bed, and she was hugging Daniel's legs, and she was praying to Jesus, and she was telling Jesus to take her and not take Daniel. And I mean, it was.
Oh. Howard, hold right on, Howard. We'll come right back. Coming up, more about the events leading to the death of Anna Nicole's only son. Have a child at the time?
I had my son, Daniel.
How old is he now?
He's 16.
First time I talked with you, I think he was 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah, he was a baby back
So
then.
you've raised him through all of these trials and tribulations that you've gone through.
Yeah, I have.
We're back with Howard K. Stern. Howard, did the hospital personnel react quickly enough to your thinking?
I don't find any fault in what the hospital did. I don't know. When I felt his neck, there wasn't a pulse, and we just even after the hospital personnel tried to resuscitate Daniel, Anna told me to there was an airbag that they were putting air in, and she had me doing that, and she was pumping on his chest.
Huh.
And I just, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Were you and Anna, is it true that you continued to try to revive him even after the doctors said he had passed away?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, is that Anna just, when they
Oh, that
stopped,
was after.
When they stopped, Anna screamed out, "No, no," and she just didn't want to believe that he had died, and that she didn't want, she wanted to keep trying to save him and keep going, and she had me, pumping the air into his mouth or down his throat, and she was pushing on his chest, trying to revive him.
Howard, did they have to sedate her right after this?
Yeah, they did. She refused to leave her son. She refused to leave her son. And, the doctors advised us that we should probably check her out of the hospital because the media was going to be coming, and it was going to be, make the whole situation even worse. So she did have to be sedated in order to leave. And when she was sedated, she actually doesn't remember that night right now.
Just ahead, tabloid reports